то я не хочу, щоб воно перейшло, наприклад, до моєї родини.
Right, y'all, welcome to Common Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out a video about the Norwegian Armed Forces and their sort of cooperation and assistance with training the Ukrainian military. So this one is titled Camp Jomsborg. Now, we've seen a lot of militaries doing these training camps for the Ukrainian troops, which is awesome to see. But I wasn't kind of aware of how much kind of money and resourcing was going to a lot of these. I think we've already seen kind of the Brits training them. We've seen I think it was the Dutch training them as well. And now we're kind of seeing, this is again a collaboration with the Norwegian military, but this is also hosted in Poland. So the Polish military is doing it, and I think some other Nordic countries are specifically supporting this training camp. But it's really cool to see that kind of cooperation. And I mean, the video kind of goes into it a little bit, but we're kind of having to see this out of necessity because it's too difficult, it's too high risk for these Ukrainian troops to be doing a lot of these training camps or to get some of this training done in Ukraine itself. But you have to understand, it presents a pretty lucrative target for the Russian military. So I'm excited to check this one out. It's about 10 minutes long. I know I'm again not in the theme of the kind of normal Hawaiian shirts, but I just got back from a concert, which was really awesome. If you guys kind of like, again, like a Hawaiian kind of reggae music, I think I've shouted out Kanaka Fire before, but yeah, it's kind of like the band I'm really stuck on right now. So if you guys kind of like island chill reggae music, definitely go and check them out because they do a lot of really cool music. Not sponsored, and again, this wasn't planned. You can kind of see I just came back from the concert, but yeah, I'm gonna do a shout out because I think they definitely deserve it. But yeah, let's go ahead and check this one out. Again, less than 10 minutes. It's nice because now we can pause it a little bit more, but it's going to be interesting to kind of hear the background from a lot of the instructors, and maybe hopefully we can get some feedback from the guys who are actually going through the training itself, because getting both sides really gets us to understand how nice it is for the troops, but also how, like, again, you got to feel so honored to be able to kind of provide this kind of support for them, this kind of training for them to make them more lethal when they're out in the battlefield. I think the nice thing with this shirt is it's probably not going to get chroma keyed at all. Okay. Yeah, sweet. And it is helpful. So let me actually move these real quick. But the subtitles, kind of clicking through it, look like they're pretty solid. So it gives us a lot of that background too, especially with this, talking about how much money they donated to this program. I don't know how much that is, the kroner. Seems like a lot there. Oh, damn. Yeah, okay. I bet they're going to be implementing a lot of drones for this training, too. I wonder how much the Ukrainian troops get to come back and kind of assist with developing the instruction. Nice. Yeah, taking all that back. All that experience, lessons learned, especially as it pertains to drones and whatnot. Yeah, look at that, it just opens up.
Ingenting. Helt vanlig polsk skogholt. Ikke strøm, ikke vann, ingen infrastruktur overhodet.
Dude.
For å måtte bygge leiren så har vi hugget 75 000 trær. Vi har måttet planere hele området ganske mye tidlig. Vi har gravd ned.
Okay, and now we have a time lapse too. Damn, that is a lot of effort. They literally cut down a forest to get these guys ready for this training. That is a lot of commitment. That is really cool to see. Poland, I gotta say, Poland just seems like super goated with a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Like, they are just not messing around when it comes to their military and kind of what we're seeing with Russia. It's really awesome to see. They are really taking this seriously, and to do something like this really goes to show that level of commitment.
27 kilometer med rør. Vi har støpt 18,5 mål med betongplate. Så det er ganske massiv innsats som har blitt lagt ned for at vi i det hele tatt skulle kunne begynne å bygge her.
That is so cool. I think we got to look at some of the trenches already. I mean, the terrain is like gnarly.
Ja, vi skal ha på setebeltene. Det er sikkert noen som fyrer seg på det, ja. I leiren her så vil det være plass til et betydelig antall mennesker. Stort volum selv i norsk skala. Men det er jo rett og slett for å kunne huse en stor org med instruktører, samtidig som vi skal huse et stort antall ukrainske soldater. Mange hundre meter med
blood, sweat and tears going into it.
Det bygd et eget urbant treningssenter som skal replikere en ukrainsk landsby. Det 5 skytebaner, så vi kan trene mange hundre samtidig.
Hundreds at once, dude. That's probably one of the...
Her da, at vi skal til...
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it looked like before. These tents also just look... I mean, living in a tent is not great in general, but these look freaking nice. They even have like air and whatnot. But I mean, compared to some of the other training camps, I mean, this seems by far like the biggest that we've seen so far, I believe.
Hele hoveddelen her da, er at vi skal tilby trening som de har behov for. Så det skal være en fleksibel treningsorganisasjon som kan motta treningsbehov fra Ukraina og gjennomføre det her. Nå har vi primært fokusert på leder- og instruktørutdanning sammen med infanteriutdanning, for det er det som har vært behovet deres.
Look at that, dude. Looks more developed the more they show it. All that gravel and stuff they had to bring in.
Jeg kjenner jo på en følelse av stolthet når man blir satt til å gjøre en oppgave du vet at du kan løse på en god måte. Jeg føler meg også privilegert som har lov til å ha med de flinke folka jeg har med på dette oppdraget. Og vi er i stand til å få bygd denne leiren på den ekstremt korte tiden vi har til disp, og at vi oppnår et så godt produkt som vil kunne være med å gi en god operativ effekt i Ukraina.
Yeah, dude, you're not just helping at the tactical level. 2 months of construction, that's it. That is so fast. But yeah, it's moving out of the tactical level. It's having serious effects for sure.
Så ukrainerne står i en utrolig vanskelig situasjon nå. De har treningssentre som et mål i russernes øyne. Så det å drive trening inne i Ukraina akkurat nå er en stor utfordring.
Yeah, and that's such a crazy thing to think about, because you always think about war and you think, you know, there's kind of a front line, and then you have kind of people training in the rear, getting ready for the war, and then they're kind of pushed out. But of course, when you're talking about Ukraine, obviously you'd be training in the country that's actively being invaded. And when that invading force is your neighboring country, again, now you need to think about the munitions that can reach out and touch certain facilities and whatnot. So now you need to be really careful of where you're putting in these facilities. And of course, when you have this many people, it just creates an even bigger signature, and it's hard to mask anything, especially for a long period of time. As OPSEC kind of measures, somebody posts something, that's all it takes to undermine that sort of training operation. So having to outsource for training that's an even tougher situation, because you gotta outsource for that kind of almost basic requirement.
Det har muligheten til å komme hit til Camp Jomsborg, som ligger nært Ukraina.
Not for everybody.
Trene, få tilgang på treningsutstyr, uniformer, våpen, få de forutsetningene de trenger for å vinne den krigen, og drepe så mange russere som mulig.
Kill as many Russians as possible.
Lower the trench. Be ready for any threats inside of the trench system.
Not mincing words. Nice helmet, dude.
Vi er en gjeng fra Telemark bataljon som driver på med opptrening av ukrainske soldater og ukrainske lagførere. Vi gir dem et 51 dagers kurs i grunnleggende soldatferdigheter og ledelse.
And remember,
Telemark's gonna do him right.
Always keeps his rifle up.
Ми приймаємо досвід в норвезьких інструкторів, їхнього плану навчань, їхньої методики навчань. І самі передаємо свій власний новий бойовий досвід норвезьким інструкторам для того, щоб запровадити правильну систему підготовки.
It's so cool how it's like a mutual sort of relationship where you teach us, we'll go and implement, and then whatever we need to bring back, we'll bring back and kind of help the future generations. That is really, especially when it comes to trench warfare, it seems like such a common sense thing. But as you start talking about just how tactics get innovated, or how you start implementing different technologies like drones, or even just different like explosives, especially if you start bringing kind of more Western munitions, they have different effects and whatnot as you're using them in the trenches.
Сучасної війни.
Vi får
like a gender reveal.
mye lærdommer. Spesielt med US-system, droner, ubemannet system, så har de veldig mye å lære oss. Og der får vi tett dialog med ukrainske eksperter, så tar vi med det hjem igjen og tilpasser det til norsk kontekst.
Nice, dude. That's such a cool working relationship. I bet the drone pilots too are insane. I wonder how much they do here, if they do a whole lot of training.
Vi jobber med utvikling på flere områder. Vi samarbeider tett med ukrainske instruktører som har fersk informasjon fra stridsfeltet i Ukraina. I tillegg så har vi en dronelab som jobber tett med relevante fagmyndigheter i Norge for å implementere US-utdanningen på en så realistisk måte som mulig. Så her driver vi med 3D-print av ulike deler for å lage droppmekanismer til å slippe ulike typer ammunisjon fra droner. I tillegg så har vi en mer teknisk lab som jobber med å opprettholde stridsutholdenheten til dronene, vanlige reparasjoner, i tillegg til å lage tekniske komponenter som vi kan bruke i dronene for å simulere stridsfeltet på en så god måte som mulig.
Way. Dude, that is so freaking cool to see them doing all of this. One, that they have they have the simulations for the FPVs and whatnot, which is really cool. I mean, dude, you know, DJI is making so much freaking money. I mean, maybe not, I know they're not being sold in the US anymore. But I mean, yeah, you know, everybody's kind of going to DJIs, and especially when you're kind of training and whatnot off of this specific kind of drone model. If you're trying to replace with anything else, it's a lot of things that you're having to kind of relearn how to do, especially as the Ukrainians were developing these kind of munitions or 3D printing parts that work with these specific drones. Now it's kind of like that is the standard, and you kind of work with that. And you can see here they're developing it even further to have kind of simulated effects, but also continue to use what the Ukrainians are bringing back to kind of mount munitions.
Som vi kan bruke i dronene for å simulere stridsfeltet på en så god måte som mulig. Vi har ganske fritt spillerom til å kunne utforske og utvikle oss, og det vil kunne bidra til at vi raskere kan implementere det her i den norske strukturen i tillegg.
That's so cool. UAS specialist with telemark. I don't think when we first checked him out that was a thing.
Своё жилье должны покидать! Что это такое?
Кожен, хто має бойовий досвід і може приєднатися до оборони України, повинен негайно прибути до відповідних центрів комплектації.
Це наше звернення до світу. Це може бути нашим останнім зверненням. В нас, можливо, залишились лічні дні або години.
De kjemper mot en av de verste diktaturene og undertrykkende regimene i hele Europa, som utgjør en trussel mot oss alle. Og at Ukraina tar den kampen på våre vegne betyr ufattelig mye for oss. De bildene vi ser hver dag på YouTube og andre plasser fra kampene i Ukraina, for oss som soldater, krever det ikke mye fantasi for å se norske byer skutt.
Dude, that is so real, the way that he's saying it. It's like, yeah, we're seeing it, and we can kind of understand that it's Ukraine, but we can't put like this mental block that can't just all of a sudden be Norwegian cities just being destroyed, and these Norwegian families. You know, you just change the language really in kind of what we're seeing, and just like that has like such a strong kind of mental effect. I mean, you have to think it looks kind of weird, but Russia, I mean, it borders mostly Finland, but it also borders Norway, just kind of more in the northern areas. Just to think that it's a very, very real possibility for them. And it's so easy for Americans to get kind of desensitized to that fact, just because obviously we're so far away from everything. That's why it's like super important to get the kind of message and get the images out there of what these guys are dealing with and what they have been dealing with, again, for the last 4 years now. It's crazy to think that's been going on that long. But it just really goes to show the kind of resolve for the Ukrainians and everybody, again, kind of, especially the European countries, coming together and helping them out with the training and the equipment and the funding. And of course, a lot of money coming from the U.S. as well. But again, being in their kind of neighborhood and being able to kind of put them under their wing like that, it's really, really cool to see.
Ruiner, så vi har den dypeste respekt og takknemlighet for at de står opp for friheten.
Hell yeah, dude. Well said. And that is a really badass sign too, I gotta say. Damn. Dude, this is really cool to see the attention detail.
Перше за Україну, а во-вторых, саме більше за свою сім'ю. Тому що те, що вони робили там, де вони вже наскільки зайняли нас, окупірували, то я не хочу, щоб воно перейшло, наприклад, до моєї родини. Все.
Forholdet mellom instruktørene våre og de ukrainske soldatene blir veldig tett i løpet av den tiden vi er sammen. Det er kameratskap, man blir forholdsvis godt kjent med hverandre. Så man blir knyttet til dem på et menneskelig, personlig plan.
It's got to be such a tough thing. See them go like that. It's like letting your kids off to college or something.
Vi vet hva de skal tilbake til, og vi vet at mange av dem kommer til å dø. For meg personlig så er det på en måte troa på at den treningen vi gir dem her kan bidra til å redde livet deres når de kommer hjem. At vi gir dem best mulig mulighet for å ta vare på seg selv og ta vare på sine kamerater hjemme i Ukraina.
Oh yeah, dude, that's so cool, the respect that they're giving them. And the feeling of the Ukrainians being in those buses and kind of leaving, that's gotta be fucking tough too. Several thousand, damn. That is really awesome. That is so cool, dude. Look at the scale of that. Man, you kind of have to just also respect what it means for these instructors as well. I mean, I don't know if they're, I mean, you have to imagine that these guys are all kind of volunteering because they know kind of what it means, regardless if they're assigned based off of whatever skill or kind of specialty or what have you. But for the sacrifice that these guys are doing as well, because I mean, it's no easy feat to kind of. You can imagine it's very long hours. You can imagine that it's very kind of mentally taxing to again kind of send these guys back to war, and also at the same time you can kind of see they're covering up their faces and whatnots. And I'd imagine they probably get some threats for kind of doing what they're doing. I mean, I'd imagine that there's some kind of Russian actors that are kind of trying to target them for what they're doing as well, maybe even like targeting their families or what have you. So definitely you have to acknowledge the sacrifice that the instructors are doing as well for this. I mean, to think if I had the opportunity to train some Ukrainians, even for whatever reason they came over here and I got to train them, it could be anything. It could be, I mean, land navigation. I'm not sure how much they're going to want to, devote those kind of 51 days for this, devote that much time to something like that. But it can be something super mundane, like camouflaging a position. I mean, things that do still like matter, but like, yeah, anything. CQB especially would kind of be awesome. And any sort of infantry skill would be awesome to teach them on. I would jump on that opportunity in a heartbeat. Just, you have to understand again what these guys are going through to have their country just kind of under siege actively on a day-to-day, having their livelihoods and their families and their homes threatened on a day-to-day, for them to be dealing with all of this stuff and to just not be able to get the amount of training that they need inside of Ukraine. I mean, it's too easy to be able to kind of support them in doing something like this, training them so they can get the training, get the basic fundamentals. And we're seeing that matters a lot. I mean, we're seeing on the Russian side, you get people who are just kind of like scooped up. Maybe they go through some training, maybe really not so much, and they're kind of thrown on the front lines. You can see kind of just in the standard and in the confidence in the tactical proficiency for sure in what it means to get that kind of basic training and those fundamentals. It pays a lot of dividends for these guys for sure. And to be able to do anything to kind of, again, increase their lethality and survivability, it's definitely something that I would imagine a lot of people would jump on to kind of assist them with that. And it's just really cool. Again, you have these European countries that are kind of co-located right there, and they're doing it. I mean, it's kind of easy to turn a blind eye in some regard. Everybody kind of understands there was no need for Russia to do that. And when you consider that, if we kind of turn a blind eye, it's just going to kind of snowball from there. And you have all these other countries that Russia is going to start looking at after that. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But again, there's still a lot of kind of personal sacrifice for the countries. But I mean, really the people kind of doing that as well. So a lot of respect for them for sure, for kind of doing all this. But I gotta say, the scale that they did everything is so cool to see. The quality and just like making sure the comfort is there, giving them good equipment. Really, really awesome to see that kind of. I mean, this is like you can hear like money, you can hear numbers, donations, but this is so tangible and you can really see it happening. It's really cool. So I actually got recommended this video a couple of times, but I also saw it pop up on my feed, which is awesome to know that this is kind of hitting the YouTube algorithm for some people, even like me. It's really awesome to see that. So hopefully we can kind of spread this, get some more awareness as to the efforts that everybody else is kind of doing to support the Ukrainians in this war. But hopefully you guys were able to appreciate it. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. There's a lot of things to comment on here, but yeah, it's just, yeah, really cool. I'd love to hear your guys' perspective on pretty much any aspect that we saw in this video. But that is it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next one.